and I hope everybody's in now. Okay. Hi again. Okay, we're back from lunch, but nobody can be sleepy or tired because the masterclass is about to happen now. So without much delay, now I'm going to invite on stage Anubha Mishra. Guys, she's an influencer right from here, the heart of Delhi. She is a beauty content creator. We love her. Maybelline loves her. She loves Maybelline. She's phenomenal with everyday eye looks. She's phenomenal with trying hacks, tips, tricks. Name it, she knows it all. So she is truly a master, and she will be here and she's going to perform on Shejal, one of your batchmates itself. So she's right here. Thank you, Shejal, for being here. A round of applause. So here we have Anubha with us. Like I said, beauty content creator. She is right from the heart of Delhi. She loves makeup. She loves Maybelline. Maybelline loves her. She knows it all. Experimental looks. She knows it all. Your everyday look. How to do a little slide. Touch up on top, how do you make it last longer, any tips, tricks. So please feel free to ask any doubts, anything whatsoever about Maybelline makeup. She's going to take you through it all, and she's going to create a lovely look for you guys, which you can wear when you as a crew member. And yeah, that's it. Welcome, Anubha.
Thank you, Shavi. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. I hope everyone is having a great time. I know Shavi already introduced me, but I'd like to introduce myself once again. I'll only take a couple of minutes. So I'm Anubha, I'm a beauty content creator, and I love making all sorts of different makeup looks. I love natural makeup looks, I love creating subtle makeup looks, experimental, creative. I love sharing different makeup tips, tricks, all forms of tutorials with my audiences, and I am sure you guys are gonna learn a lot in this session today. I'm really excited to have you all around. Thank you so much for taking out your time and coming out here. I really appreciate that, and I hope you all are going to have a wonderful time. Yeah. So let's begin with today's session. Okay, so I'm going to be creating a very subtle glam look on Shejal. Hi, Shejal. So the agenda of today's makeup look is going to be, we're going to be creating a slightly dewy base, something that makes the skin look fresh for longer hours. As we all know, you guys work for pretty long hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours shifts you guys have, right? So the focus of today's makeup look is going to be subtle with a hint of glam, right? I want the base of today's makeup look to be slightly on the dewy side, nothing too glossy but nothing too matte, but slightly dewy, something that everyone can attempt, right? I'm sure, I'm assuming like a lot of you guys out here would be beginners, some may be advanced, but I'm actually trying to create a look which everyone can attempt, right? Even an advanced level person can attempt, and even a beginner level person can attempt. So I'm going to be sharing lots and lots of tips and tricks today. And if you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and I'll be happy to answer all of that. Yeah? So let's begin with today's session. So firstly, I'm going to be using primer on her face. So whenever we start any makeup look, we start off with a primer. Now what's the importance of a primer? So whenever we are applying any form of makeup, whether it's heavy makeup or let's just say very simple makeup look, we always start with something that can hold our makeup. So what's the importance of a primer is, primer helps in holding your base makeup. So if someone has pores, if someone has a little bit of texture, a little bit of redness, primer helps in concealing that. Also, primer also helps in making sure that your makeup lasts longer, right? Like I mentioned, you guys would be wearing makeup for 10 hours, 12 hours, and 15, 16 hours. So you guys need to have something that can hold your makeup for longer hours, and that's why primer, right? So we have a couple of primers with me, and I have the Maybelline Fit Me primer. I have one primer which is matte and flawless, the other one is dewy and smooth. But like I mentioned, I'm going to be opting for a dewy base, so that is why I'm going to be using the dewy primer today. Yeah. Also, one thing, whenever we're using a primer, we have to make sure that we don't use a lot of it in quantity. Like it's not a moisturizer. We often apply moisturizer in sort of peak-dark quantity, but whenever we're using a primer, we got to make sure that we don't use a lot of it. Start small, right, and don't use like a lot of quantity on the face. I'm going to be taking this at the back of my hand, just a little bit, right? And I'm going to be sort of like blending it at the back of my hand, slightly blending it. And I'm going to be focusing this primer on the center areas of her face. Now, primer necessarily does not have to be applied on the entire of your on your entire face, right? It's not, like I said, it's not a moisturizer, right? So we're only going to be focusing on the important areas, wherever you have, like I mentioned, pores, textures, redness, right? So I'm just going to be starting from the center areas of her face. And you don't have to, like drag it. Just make sure that you're using very like gentle strokes, like so. Very gentle strokes, remember that. Again, focusing on the quantity. You don't have to apply a lot of it, just a tiny bit would do. Very gentle finger strokes, that's it. And a bit on her forehead. Now you gotta be making sure that after you apply a primer, you sort of let it stay on your skin, right? Primer ke immediately baad we don't jump to our base makeup. We let it stay on our skin for at least a couple of minutes. Let the skin, absorb the primer. We don't jump to the second makeup product straight away, right? Okay guys, so we're done with the primer application. I'm also focusing a little bit on the nose, just a little bit. If you have any texture, any sort of like pores on your nose, it helps to smoothen out that, right? And because it's a dewy primer, I hope everyone can see, she has a slight hint of dewiness on her skin. I hope everyone can see that. Yeah, very slight hint of dewiness on her cheeks, on her forehead, on the high points of her face. Any questions anyone has, please feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to answer all your queries today. Okay guys, so moving on to foundation. So we have the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, and I don't even remember how many bottles of this foundation I have used. This literally has to be one of my favorite drugstore foundations, and if you haven't tried this out, you're truly missing out something. This is really good. If you want to nail a everyday makeup look, if you want to glam it up a little bit, this is the foundation to go for, and it comes in 18 different shades, right? So we're going to be using this today. And again, I'm opting for not a very heavy base makeup today. I'm trying to keep it very light, very minimal, okay? So I'm not taking a lot of foundation. Again, foundation, whenever you're using a foundation, just make sure that you start very light, right? You don't have to apply a lot of it in first go. It doesn't matter whether you're opting for a natural makeup coverage or a heavier makeup coverage. Even if you're using a heavier makeup, even if you're opting for a glam makeup look, let's just say that, you don't use a lot of foundation in one go. Just apply a very tiny, like very soft layer of foundation in one go, and then if you feel like adding another layer, then only you go for another layer, right? This really helps in making sure that your makeup doesn't look cakey, right? It should look natural and subtle and soft, right? Okay, so I'm going to be taking this foundation at the back of my hand. Again, I'm only starting with this much, okay? And slightly sort of blending it, not too much, but slightly sort of blending it at the back of my hand. It's basically called warming it up, right? Whenever you apply foundation, you don't apply it directly. You warm it up at the back of your hand. And this way the foundation blends very smoothly and very nicely into your skin, right? Okay. I'm using my fingertips to blend this foundation into her skin. And I'm going in with very, softer strokes. Now because we applied a dewy primer, her skin, I hope everyone can see, is sort of, has that soft glistening effect. Yes, please?
Why are you not using blender?
See, I don't think, you have to use a blender to blend your foundation. I mean, yes, that is an option. You can use your fingertips, you can use brushes, you can use beauty blender. There's no one specific rule that you have to use a blender. You can absolutely use your fingertips, and with the warmth of your fingertips, you can blend your foundation, right? So as a beginner, you don't have to pressurize yourself that, I have to use a blender, right? You can use a blender, you can use a makeup brush, like a foundation brush. You can also use your fingertips, right? I hope that helped. And this also works great, when you're getting ready in a hurry. You just warm it up at the back of your hand and, do this, and you'll be good to go. A little bit on her chin. Taking my time and making sure that the blending is perfect, guys. The foundation needs to blend in the skin very beautifully. It doesn't matter what makeup look you're opting for, but the foundation is truly the base of any makeup look, right? So just a little bit, keeping it very subtle and very natural. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be using a brush, a makeup brush. You can use any makeup brush, and like she mentioned, you can use a beauty blender at this point as well. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to slightly tap this onto her skin. This is an extra step, especially if you're a beginner. Now this makes sure that the foundation blends it even more beautifully, right? We did blend the foundation with our fingertips, but uske baad, this is an additional step that really helps in making sure that it looks seamless and flawless, right? Again, you can use anything, a brush or a beauty blender. Jiske saath aap comfortable ho, you can use anything at this point. And slightly blending the foundation on her neck as well, slightly. Because your complexion of your face and your neck should always match, right? So I'm slightly taking the foundation down on her neck as well. Softly dabbing the brush onto her face so that the foundation looks absolutely flawless. Okay, we're done with the foundation, guys. Step number 2 done. Now we're going to be moving to corrector. Alright, so what does a corrector do? So if somebody has, let's just say, dark circles. I'm sure all of us would have night shifts, sleepy eyes, and we all want to correct and conceal that, right? We want to look fresh, wide and awake whenever we're going out for our jobs, right? So we have an option of using a corrector. Now what a corrector does is, if somebody has very deep dark circles, a corrector helps in concealing that. Right? So you can use a corrector to sort of apply it on your dark circles, and then on top of it, I'm going to be using a brightening concealer. Now, what a brightening concealer is, corrector is basically a couple of 2 shades lighter than your actual skin tone. We apply it just on our dark circles, and then on top of it to add that brightening effect, right? Because we want the eyes to look fresh, wide and awake. We add a brightening concealer. Now what a brightening concealer is, it's actually 1 or maybe 2 shades lighter than your actual skin tone to add that subtle brightening effect underneath your eyes, right? So we're going to be using the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser Concealer, and this has a very unique packaging which I absolutely love. It has this twisty packaging, so you basically twist it, and the product comes out right on the sponge. Now you can directly apply it, but I personally prefer it to apply it at the back of my hand like so. This way you have more control, you know, because you always need to start a bit with lesser quantity, right? This goes with any makeup product. Aap foundation laga rahe ho, concealer laga rahe ho, start with the tiniest amount of product and then you can build it up, right? So I'm going to be using a slightly darker shade for her under eyes, and yeah, let's do that. So again, I'm going to be using my fingertips. At this point, you can also use a blender or a foundation, a concealer brush as well, right? Yes, please. Again, there are no rules. I personally believe there are no rules to makeup. I like to mix and match. There are days when I'm wearing a foundation and okay, I missed the joke there. There are days when I love wearing a foundation and then a concealer, and then there are days I love wearing a concealer first and then I like to go with the foundation, right? There's absolutely no defined rule that aapko pehle foundation lagana hai, then you have to go ahead with the concealer, whatever, you know, whichever way you're comfortable. Okay? Yes, please.
Is there any alternative we could use instead of concealer?
See, a concealer is something that provides more coverage, right? So when you're using, let's just say, a foundation which is great for everyday wear, a foundation cannot cover your dark circles, you know? A foundation has its specific role, a concealer has its specific role. So if you have to cover, let's just say, imperfections, right? Or dark circles, we opt for a concealer. Foundation ka role wo nahi hai. Foundation ka role is different than a concealer, right? Yes, please, somebody else had a question? I can't hear you. What's the proper use of? Acne. Again, you can use an orange color corrector, or you can use a darker shade of corrector like what I'm using right now, right? So you can use a darker shade of concealer on top, and then you can use a brightening concealer on top of it. But the best way, honestly, the best way to use is a green color corrector. Use a green color corrector on your acne, and then you cover it up with a concealer. That's the best way to cover your acne marks. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, let's go ahead with this corrector first. I'm not taking a lot of product, guys, just a little bit. Slightly dabbing it underneath her eyes. And you always need to look up, right? Whenever you're blending foundation, you need to look up like this. And guys, always make sure that your under eyes are moisturized. A lot of people miss out on thinking that we don't need a moisturizer, we don't need an under eye cream, but your concealer just sits very beautifully and your under eyes look very hydrated when you apply an under eye cream. So never miss out on that, right? And see how this concealer has beautifully blended into her under eyes. That's the beauty of this concealer and I absolutely love it. You can use it for, like multiple occasions. Daily wear mein use karna, you can totally use that for any if you want to sort of glam it up, then you can use this concealer for those purposes as well. Now our under eyes are just concealed beautifully, okay? Now, we're going to be adding another step and we're going to be using a brightening concealer. Now, like I mentioned, it's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your actual skin tone, right? Under eyes ko thoda fresh lagana hai, so that's why we're using a brightening concealer. I need to wipe this first. Any questions? Yes, please.
Actually, I use primer, serum, and sunscreen, all three. I don't use primer.
Yeah. See, sunscreen is a part of skincare. When we talk about primer, it's a part of makeup, right? Maybe in upcoming sessions, if we talk about skincare, I'd love to, throw some light on that as well. But right now, see, when we say sunscreen, moisturizer, that is a part of skincare. That doesn't come under makeup, right? Primer is a part of makeup process. So you apply your sunscreen and then you start with your primer, right? So once the skincare steps are done, then you start off, with your makeup steps, correct? Okay, wipe that off. Let it dry a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to apply this concealer. Just a little bit. I'm going to use my ring finger, blend it. Blending is key, guys. If you blend it, it will just, any foundation, concealer, it's going to look very seamless on your under eyes, on your face, right? So blended this, and then I'm not using this like as close to my lash line. I'm using this on the hollows. We don't need the brightening effect as close to our lash line. We need the brightening effect over here, right? So I'm just using my ring finger to tap this, and you have to be very gentle, guys. We don't want to move our concealers and foundation underneath, so be very gentle. Also, like I said, today's makeup look is not very heavy on the base. We're going to be playing a little bit around the eyes and lips, and I hope you guys are excited for that. So I'm purposely keeping the base very minimal, so that if you're a beginner at makeup, if you've never attempted makeup, if you're just starting out with makeup, you can easily attempt this, right? And then whatever is left, I'm just tapping a little bit on the tip of her nose for that subtle brightening effect. This is again completely optional. A little bit on her chin. Now I'm not using any extra product here. Whatever is left at the back of my hand for that subtle brightening effect, that's it. And a little bit on her forehead. That's it. Okay? Step number 3, done. Any questions? Anyone has any questions? Please feel free to ask. Okay, let's move towards powder now. We're going to be using the Maybelline compact powder, and this has such cute packaging. It also has a mirror. Okay, so whenever we apply any base makeup product, foundation, concealer, we need to set that up, right? Because if you set nahi karoge, it's going to move, right? So again, take a very little bit of this product on the powder puff, right? You need to look up like this and slightly dab it. Now this is going to set your concealer. Again, you don't have to use a lot of it, just take a tiny bit of powder and start blending. This will make sure your under eyes do not have any creases, right? Okay, let's just do that on the other eye. Always look up and then blend. And then whatever is left on this powder puff, I'm going to slightly set this on the rest of her face. Because we also need to, set our foundation, our concealer. That's also very important. And this really helps in making sure that your makeup lasts longer, right? I'm slightly tapping this on her forehead as well, on her nose. Yeah, and that is how her base looks. Any questions, guys? Yes, please. Yes, please. Sorry? Okay, so compact powder is basically this. I'll show you. This is how it looks. Loose powder is sort of finely milled, right? Now what is the difference? Whenever we're opting for very lighter coverage, we're going with a compact powder. But if you've applied if you're opting in for a very heavy base makeup coverage, we apply a loose powder. So we apply loose powder underneath your eyes, and then you let it stay on your skin for a couple of minutes, and then you slightly dust it off. Now that makes sure, loose powder is slightly a bit more, you can say, advanced than a compact powder, right? So you just apply it on your under eyes, let it stay for a couple of minutes, and then you dust it off, and this will make sure that your under eyes, like the concealer, stays on for longer hours, right? So if you want like maximum stay on your under eyes, then you opt for a loose powder, right? Right now we're doing something very, very minimal. Then we're opting for a compact powder. Okay. I hope that helped. Somebody here had questions? Okay. All right, moving on to blush. That is my favorite part, you guys. I love applying blush. Blush is something that adds that, sweet sort of color to your face, to your makeup, and I absolutely love it. If your skin is looking pale, if your makeup is looking a little bit pale, a little bit washed out, you just apply a dash of color on your cheeks and you're good to go. And I love this. I think this has to be one of my favorite steps while I'm doing makeup. I absolutely, enjoy wearing blushes. Okay, so we're going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me blush. Okay guys, we are going to be doing eyebrows first. Just a couple of minutes for the blush and then we move forward. So for brows, I'm going to be using the Tattoo Brow Gel Liner, right? Now I think it's very important to set your eyebrows, guys, right? I think this is a very, you can say, underrated process. People often think that, we don't need to set our brows, but brows truly, thank you so much, brows truly define your face. If your brows are nicely set, kabhi aise karke dekhna, you nicely set your one brow and you leave your one brow and you will instantly, see and feel the difference. This just looks very prim and proper and polished, and I think everyone should nicely groom their eyebrows. So we're going to be using this Tattoo Brow Gel Liner, Tattoo Brow Gel Styling Gel. So this is basically a styling gel and this is very easy to use. Again, as a beginner, all you have to do is, so this is how the wand looks like, just like a mascara, right? So all you have to do is just apply it on your brows like this and you're good to go, correct? And we have like 2-3 different shades in here. We have browns, we have warm brown, and then we have deep brown. So I'm going to be using brown on her. So I'm going to be using the shade warm brown on her eyebrows. Making sure that there's no excess product on the spoolie, right? Gently setting her eyebrows with a spoolie. This again gives a very fresh look to your eyebrows, right? Can you see the difference? It's very slight, but this one looks very polished, like nicely set, versus this one. It's a small step, guys, but it adds actually a lot. We often think that eyebrows and we don't need to, do too much to the eyebrows. We can leave them as is, but every single step I think matters. And once you start doing your eyebrows, there's like no going back. So gently brushing the eyebrow hair with this spoolie, and it's very easy to use, guys, very easy to use. Guys, any questions? Okay. We're done with the eyebrows, and now moving on to my favorite part, the blush. Okay, so this is how the color looks like. This is again very soft. It's more like a soft, coral, warm, peachy shade. You guys can see that, and I think it's going to look beautiful on Shejal. So I'm going to be using a brush to apply this, a blush brush, and gently tapping this brush on the pan like so. Now this has some product, right? Never apply this directly on your cheeks. That's the biggest mistake. What you can do is always tap off the excess. Now how do we do that? Okay, and then you can always take whatever excess product this brush has at the back of your hand. Now, if you're someone who loves wearing natural blush looks, this tip works great, right? So you take the product, tap off, slightly just, dab it at the back of your hand, and then start applying this on the high points. Again, you can start slow and then you can build it up. If you want a natural like blush look, you don't have to apply a lot of it. But if you like flush cheeks like me, then you can definitely go in for the second layer as well. Who else loves blush here, guys? And okay, a lot of you guys. I love blush. I'm crazy about blushes. And the texture of this blush, look at it. It is so smooth, you guys. Look at that. It has that, like soft glistening effect, and even if you have texturized skin, this will not highlight the texture of your skin. So even if you have texturized skin, you can safely go with this blush. I just love the color of this blush. I hope everyone can see the difference on her cheeks. It's beautiful. It looks very natural, very subtle and beautiful. Yes, please. I didn't get your question.
Ma'am, what are the exact points to apply blush?
Okay, so how do we do that? This is basically your point where you can apply a blush. There are many ways how you can apply a blush, right? So your blush is always apply. You always apply your blush on the high points of your cheeks, like this, and take it a little bit upwards, right? So if this is your cheekbone, you take it a little bit upwards. This actually gives a very lifted effect to your cheeks, right? If you want your cheeks to look a little bit fuller, then you can also apply a little bit of blush on the just over here. But if you want to lift like nice chiseled look, then you can just apply it over here, right? Right where your cheekbone is, you can apply it over here and you'll be good to go. You can also apply like slight bit of it on your nose and on your chin, like not too much, just a little bit of it, and this gives a very nice flush look to your makeup. I personally like do that. And a lot of people feel a little intimidated that why do you apply blush on the nose and on the chin. But I think it looks very cute, it looks very sweet. You don't use a lot of quantity, of course. Quantity comes up and just like blend it, and it just gives a very nice flush, very sun-kissed kind of look, and I love that, and I think you should all try it out. I'm going in with the second layer on her skin. And now I think you guys can see the blush looks more prominent because I've used the second layer. The blush looks more prominent on this cheek, right? I'm slightly going heavier with the blush. And don't be intimidated to go in with a slightly heavier blush, right? If you love it, apply it. Okay, so we're done with the cheeks. Now whatever is left on this brush, slightly tapping it on her nose. Looks very cute, I love it. And slightly on the tip of her chin as well. That's it. So we're done with the blush, guys. And now let's move towards the eyes. I'm very excited to show you guys how we do the eyes today. Okay. Now, before we do the eyes, I think it's very important to conceal your eyelids, right? So I'm going to be going in with a concealer first. Please close your eyes. And slightly applying this. Not too much, like very little amount of it on her eyelids, right? This is called prepping the eyelids. You need to prep the eyelids. If there's any sort of like pigmentation on the eyelids, this really helps in covering all of that. And then slightly blending it with a brush. Okay, so her eyelids are nicely set. further set them, I'm going to be using this compact powder, right? Just like how we set our under eyes, it's also very important to quickly set our eyelids as well so that they don't crease, right? Gently tapping it on the eyelids, and you have to do this quickly, guys. Before the eyelids start creasing, you have to do it quickly. Tap, 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 and you're good to go. Slightly tap, and you're good to go. Again, you don't have to apply a lot of powder on your eyelids, just a little bit, and fine. Right? Now let's move towards the eyes. Who else loves doing eye makeup? Okay, a lot of you guys. I love playing around my eyes, like different colors. Sometimes crazy, sometimes a little bit experimental, sometimes subtle glam, sometimes neutral. I love just playing around with the eyes. So today we're going to be going ahead with the Blushed Nudes Maybelline eyeshadow palette, and look how gorgeous this eyeshadow palette is. Perfect for your everyday wear, and also when you sort of, slightly want to glam it up. I think this is perfect for any kind of occasion, right? So yeah, let's use this today. I'm going to be using the matte shades first, and they have a beautiful, they have these very beautiful glittery shades, and we also have one like matte shade. So I'm going to be using a matte shade first, and then these glittery shades, okay? So I'm taking this greyish matte shade on a fluffy blending brush, picking this product and then slightly tapping off the excess, right? Okay. And start blending this color on her outer corner. Again, in the first attempt, please make sure that you don't use a lot of product on the eyes. Just go very slow. And start slowly building the color, guys. So we apply this, and then apply this color on the outer corner, tap it like this, and then we start blending it. This is actually a very soft color, which makes it perfect to be used for daily wear. It's not very intimidating on the eyes. It's a taupe grey color. And I'm slowly building this color on her outer corners. Anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm not applying this color like a lot, just a little bit and really good to go. So slight amount of it on the outer corners, and I'm actually in mood to play around with some glitters. So we have some really beautiful glitters in this palette. Alright, I'm going to be taking this brush that comes along with the palette, right? And taking, I think I'm going to go ahead with this color right here. It's a beautiful sort of rose goldish color. And the beauty of this color is that it just looks good with anything and everything. So I'm taking this shade right here. It's a beautiful rose goldish, slightly pinkish shade, and again tapping off the excess, right? I hope you guys saw how much excess product was there in the brush. Yeah? And then we apply this on our eyelid over here. Looks very soft on the eyes. You can also use your fingertips. I'll show you how. So use your fingertips, use your ring finger, and this is how it looks. Very beautiful shade. And then we apply this on her eyelid. And it looks super beautiful and very subtle. I'll also be playing around with some colors. So that is why precisely I'm keeping the eyes very neutral. Taking this color once again and applying it on her other eye. Now her eyes look very subtle, soft and neutral. And setting the glitter once again with the brush. Like so. It's time now to play with some colors. And I have some really cool, fun eyeliners to share with you guys. I have some really cool colors. Let me show them all to you. So we've got beautiful pinks and there's one yellow, one teal, one blue, white. And this is the Tattoo Play Liners by Maybelline. And look how beautiful these colors are. So whenever you're in a mood to try out something colorful, you can definitely try these eyeliners. Okay, so I'm going to be using the shade Blue on her eyes. And this has a very soft felt tip liner which makes it very easy to apply your eyeliner. Looks like this. And whenever you're applying an eyeliner, always make sure that you wipe off the excess product. Right? You wipe off the excess product. And then you start applying it as close to your lash line and always keep your eyelids closed, right? Yes, please. Keep your eyelids closed and do not open your eyelids. You really have to keep your eyelids closed, okay? If you open your eyelids immediately, guys, the eyeliner will smudge it on the top, right? We need to give it at least like a minute to dry it out. And this eyeliner looks beautiful. How many of you guys love colored eyeliners or you prefer black? A lot of you. Okay, great. Black? Oh, nice. So taking a little bit of more liner. And this is how the liner looks, right? This is how it looks. So I kept the eyes purposely very subtle, and now this liner, this bold blue liner, has added that sort of colorful touch to it, right? Okay. Yeah, and it's all right, guys. Yeah. We're going to be doing that on the other eye. Always going with a very thin stroke, guys. Make sure that the felt tip liner does not hold a lot of product in it, right? Your eyeliner needs to go in smooth, and you don't want your eyeliner to look all smudgy, right? So I'm going sort of with a very medium stroke. The stroke is not very, very, very bold. It's not very, very thin. It's somewhere in the middle. And then you just need to let it dry, and then feel free to open your eyes. How does this look, guys? So subtle eyes with a pop of color, right? That's what we're calling it. Okay, and you can play with any colors, any colors. Of course, as per your airline guidelines, right? So you can play with any colors. We have pinks, bright pinks. We also have white. We also have this very unique yellowish, mustardish shade. You can also play around with this color, and then we also have a teal shade in here. This beautiful teal shade. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the eyelashes. we're going to be using the Sky High Mascara. I'm sure all of you have heard this mascara. I've used multiple tubes of this mascara. This has to be my #1 favorite mascara. I've talked about this on my Instagram channel like all the time. And this is beautiful, you guys. If you haven't used this, if you're a mascara person, you have to use this mascara, okay? Now this is the Cosmic Black Waterproof Sky High Mascara by Maybelline, and I freaking love it. And I highly recommend each one of you out there to try this out. And the packaging, beautiful, right? Looks beautiful. And this is limited edition, okay? This is how the wand looks like. And the wand is something that helps in, separating your lashes. So your lashes look very fluttery. They look very well defined. They look very lengthening. And the wand really helps in, achieving all of that. So always make sure that you wipe off the excess from the wand, like so. You start from the roots and then you take the wand upwards. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any doubts? Okay, done with one eye. Moving on to the other. Yes, please. No, from the inside. So you basically have to start from your roots. So this is where your roots are. So you have to start applying mascara from your roots and then you sort of wiggle it through to the upper part of your lashes, right? So this puts kind of pressure on your lashes, like on the roots of your lashes. And this really helps in making your lashes look fluttery, very sort of well defined and very lengthy, right? So just put a little bit of pressure on just the roots and then you wiggle it through to the upwards, right? Yes, please.
Do you think that waterproof mascaras damages our eyelashes?
No, I don't think that. All you have to do is make sure that you're cleaning out the waterproof mascara before you go to bed. That's very important for the sake of the health of your lashes. And you can use this. This is the Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water. I use this. And you can just pour some on a cotton pad and then you can wipe it off, and this gets removed very easily. So there's nothing wrong in wearing a waterproof mascara. The only catch with using a waterproof mascara is that it lasts for a longer duration as compared to washable mascaras, right? But you can definitely use any oil-based cleansing micellar water, and you can just wipe it off and you'll be good to go. Yeah. Again, wiping off all the excess, because we don't want our lashes to look clumpy, okay? That is why it's very important to sort of wipe off the excess product. And then we do the other eye, starting from the roots, and then we wiggle it through. Okay, we're done with the mascara, guys, and now I'm in mood to play with her eyes a little bit more. So I'm going to be using this Tattoo Studio gel pencil liner. It's a crayon gel, very easy to apply, looks beautiful on the eyes. I'm going to be using this very experimental color today. Like I said, I'm going to be playing around with the eyes. So we used blue on the upper lids, and we're going to be using this on her lower lash line, right? I'm skipping mascara as of now, so we first apply this, and then we see if we want to apply mascara on the lower lashes or not, right? So this is how the color looks like. Let me swatch it at the back of my hand. It's a beautiful goldenish color. I hope all of you can see that. So this is how it looks like, right? You can also use, like the regular black kajals as well. But like I said, today I'm in mood to play around with some colors, so I'm going to be using this on her lower lash line. I'm applying this as close to her lashes, okay? Like her lower lashes. This step is something that will add a subtle glam effect to your eyes. It's not going to make your eyes look very intimidating because we've already used a blue liner. So I'm not using a very crazy color on the lower lashes, right? And that is how her lower lash line looks, right? Can you all see the difference? It's very slight, right? But something that a beginner would also feel very comfortable if they want to, sort of experiment with colors, right? A different color on the lower lash line, a different color on the upper lash line, right? Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Okay. Now let's add that slight effect to our lashes. And I'm going to be using the Sky High Mascara once again on her lower lashes. I think this step is something that will make the eyes look a bit more complete. Look up, please. As you all can see, the eyes look absolutely complete. How many of you guys like this? Okay, a lot of you. Great, good to hear that. Alright, moving on to highlighter. How many of you guys love highlighters? Okay, highlighter fandom right there. So we're going to be using the Maybelline Chrome Metallic Highlighter. It's the kind of highlighter that is perfect for your daily wear. Whenever you sort of want to glam it up, this is just perfect. I've used it like multiple times in so many of my looks, and I swear by it. You have to, if you've not used this, you're missing something out. If you're a highlighter girly, you have to use this, okay? And it just looks beautiful on Indian skin tones. You have to try this out, guys. Swearing by this product, okay? So I'm going to be using a highlighter brush to apply this product, and I'm going to be swiping this highlighter brush over the pan. Look how beautiful. I don't even feel like touching this product. It looks so beautiful. So anyways, we have to swirl this brush onto the pan like so, right? And again, very gentle stroke. And look how pigmented this is, right? Halka sa maine swipe kiya and the brush already has so much product. Again, we're tapping off the excess like that. Slightly swiping the color at the back of my hand, as in the highlighter, and then we apply highlighter on the high points of our face. Now, high points of our face होते क्या हैं? Where the light naturally falls. Light कहाँ naturally fall कर रही है? On her forehead, on her this area, on the tip of her nose, on her chin, right? So this is where we apply a highlighter to sort of accentuate those highlighting points even more, right? So let's just do that. And that is the look. Soft and so glistening on the skin. If somebody has texturized skin, you guys can definitely use it. Please don't feel intimidated using a highlighter. It's beautiful. It looks so soft on the skin. I absolutely love it. And look the effect it gives to the makeup. I hope you all can see that. Beautiful. On the other cheek. And you have to take the highlighter upwards. It should never be like dragging down, right? Take it upwards. Like so. And always blend, you guys. Apply and then blend. Okay? Then I'm going to take a little bit and apply on the top of her forehead. Just a little bit, not too much. Over here and over here. On the tip of her nose. Slightly over here as well. On her cupid's bow. Can you please press your lips? And on her chin. Again, not too much, just slight below. Okay? I hope you all can see the difference the highlighter has made to her makeup. Right? It looks even more glistening and it looks slightly glowy. Should I apply more or more? Okay, fine. I'll go with one soft layer, that's it. Not too much, just a soft layer. Just a little bit over here. A little bit over here. And that's it. And we're good to go. Alright, any questions, you guys? The shade is called Rose Gold Molten. Rose Gold Molten. I think this is the kind of color that will suit all Indian skin tones. It's beautiful, guys. Like, the proof is right in front of your eyes. It just looks absolutely beautiful. And no matter what kind of makeup look you do, if you're doing a cool toned makeup, if you're doing a warm toned makeup, if you're doing a natural makeup or a glam makeup look, this is going to look absolutely perfect. All right?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
as you did your this girl eye makeup after the face makeup. So if we do our eye makeup in the starting, then base makeup and our face makeup, so there will be any difference?
See, that is absolutely personal preference. Look, I'm someone, I'd like to share something about myself. I don't go by any specific makeup rules. You know, like somebody asked me whether it should be apply foundation or concealer. It doesn't matter. You can apply concealer first or you can apply foundation first. Absolutely your preference. And when it comes to eye makeup or face makeup, again, it is your preference, however you feel comfortable. You can do the eyes first. You can absolutely do the eyes first. Make sure you apply concealer and then, you know, all the rest of the steps that I did on Shejal. And then you can do the base makeup, right? But you can do the other way around as well. You can do your base makeup first and then you can do the eyes. I personally like to do my base makeup first and then do the eyes. So it's totally personal preference, if you're whichever way you're comfortable, right? Okay. Any more questions before we move to lips? Any more questions? Any product related questions? Any tips and tricks?
Ma'am, how can we cover eye bag?
Sorry?
How can we cover our eye bag?
Cover our
Eye bag.
eye bags. That is precisely the reason I use this. Let me show you. I used a corrector which was slightly darker than her actual skin tone. So we used that first, and on top of it we used a brightening concealer. See how beautiful her under eyes look now, right? So you can definitely use a corrector first. So you apply this and then you blend it, and then on top of it you can use a brightening concealer which is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your actual skin tone. This way your bags are also covered and your under eyes look brightened, right? Okay? Hope that helps. Yes, please.
So primers already contain highlighter.
Sorry?
Ma'am, some of the primers already contain highlighter.
Yeah. Those are not primers, those are more like illuminators. We call them illuminators. The primer is different and illuminator is different. So primer, we use this in order to make sure that if there are any lines that we need to smoothen out, you know, if there are any pores, textures, if we need to smoothen out that, we use a primer. We use only an illuminator to add glow to our makeup, right? So in case if I want a very heavy dewy base, so I may add an illuminator on my skin. I also add an illuminator, mix an illuminator with my foundation, right? So I hope that helps.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
How do we have to hold our mascara horizontal or vertically while applying to our lower lashes?
Horizontal or just like drag it down. You just focus a little bit on the roots. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on your lower lashes. just put your wand like this, and you have to drag it down. Put the wand like this and drag it down, like zigzag motion, and drag it down. Yeah?
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
which one is best for face? Like we use powder blush or liquid blush?
So powder blush you can use if you have oily skin, right? I would suggest if you have oily skin, if your skin gets very oily, stick to powder blushes. Stick to cream blushes if you have dry skin, right? So for example, I have slightly oily skin in the summer season, but winters mein aake my skin gets slightly dry. So I switch to cream blushes. Totally depends upon your skin type. Agar aapki skin oily hai, stick to powder blushes. If your skin is dry, if your skin is dehydrated, stick to cream blushes. Yeah? Yes, please. Why does makeup cake suck? Okay, very good question. So I think the reason why makeup looks dehydrated, makeup का nature ही dehydrated लगना, right? And a lot of us miss is we do not do skin prep properly. I think it's very important to do skin prep. So it's very important that you moisturize your skin very well. Doesn't matter if you have dry skin, combination skin, oily skin. Oily skin people feel that, oh, we already have a lot of oil on our face. Just simply, directly apply makeup on our face and we'll be good to go. No, you have to start with good skin prep because makeup has a tendency to dehydrate your skin, no matter what skin type you are, right? Your skin may look dehydrated even if you're an oily skin type. So go with a skin prep. Don't use different makeup products with different formulations. Don't use like a couple of foundations that has like different texture. Don't use a cream foundation on top of a powder foundation, right? So stick to basics. Stick to one liquid foundation and then one concealer on top of it. So don't mix a lot of products with different formulations, right? Skin prep is very important. Don't add a lot of powder to your skin. So for example, when I use this on her face, I'm not sure if you remember, I mentioned that you go in with a very soft layer. Don't like dab a lot of it. What it does is that it just accentuates your lines. Your skin doesn't need a lot of powder and then you're adding a lot of powder on your skin, which in fact makes it look very cakey, right? And that is why I specifically mentioned that whenever you're opting for foundations, concealers, go in with a very soft layer. Maybe your face doesn't need those too many layers. We often apply a lot of foundation, बहुत सारा foundation लगा लेते हैं हम. And it doesn't matter if you're opting for a glam makeup look or a subtle makeup look, go in with a very soft layer first. It doesn't matter if you're using a full coverage concealer or a natural coverage concealer, go in with a very soft layer. If you think that, oh, I may need to add like a second layer, then you only go in with the second layer, right? I hope that helps. Any more questions?
How to prevent laugh lines?
How to prevent laugh lines? Okay. So I think laugh lines is something that can never be fully prevented. Okay? I busted up myth right there. Alright? All you have to do is, again, the rule is very simple. You have to make sure that you moisturize your skin very well. Right? If there are any dry patches, if your skin is combination or dry, just make sure you give your specific focus on your dry patches. Cover your dry patches very well. Use illuminators maybe. Use foundations that are more cream based. Right? Set your base with a powder. That also really helps. So this way you can prevent laugh lines, but you can never truly like conceal laugh lines. Right? That's the harsh reality. Yes, please.
Now, when we wear foundation for a long duration, now after some time it gives a grey cast. Now how can you avoid that?
Okay. So precisely you're not doing your skin prep properly, right? You're again using a lot of like different formulations together. You need to be doing your skin prep properly. Just make sure, maybe your skin is dehydrated. The answer is very simple to that. You're not doing your skin prep properly. You have to do your skin prep properly and then you apply foundation. Again, don't apply a lot of foundation. Don't apply too many different makeup products. Just stick to the basics and you'll be good to go, right? Just make sure that you set your foundation with some setting mist and you'll be good to go. Yeah? Any more questions? Yes, please. I didn't understand your question, please. Can you please be a little more clear?
When we do makeup on daily basis, so only our eyes. When we use makeup on daily basis,
Yeah.
so only our eyes part will gets very darker day by day.
Okay. So, in order to prevent the darker eyelids, all you can do is you can apply a concealer. right? Just apply concealer on your eyelids. Again, don't apply a lot of it, but make sure that you're covering your under eyes. What we often do is, we often apply concealer on the lower part. We forget the upper part, right? So whenever we open our eyes and open and shut our eyes, the darker lid, it seems to look very off, yeah, because we haven't concealed them. Imagine not concealing your under eyes and wearing foundation on the rest of your face. This is going to look a little off, right? So all you have to do is just apply concealer on your eyelids as well, and set it with some compact powder before you do your eyeshadow. Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, how to make up your small eyes or almond size eyes?
How to?
How to make up small eyes
Okay.
or almond size eyes?
Okay. How to do makeup on small eyes? Okay. So I have hooded eyelids. All right. As soon as I open my eyes, God has not given me a lot of space on my eyelids, so this is a bit of a challenge, and all my hooded girls can probably relate to it. So what I do is, whenever I apply eyeshadow, I sort of accentuate the eyeshadow towards the outer corners, because whenever I open my eye, I don't have lid space on my eyes. So if I can't apply my eyeshadow, so she has a lot of beautiful space on her eyelids, right? If I open my eyes, they don't have a lot of space. So in order to compensate that, what I do is I accentuate my eyeshadow colors towards this way. So instead of blending this way, let me show you how do I do that. So I take a blending brush. Instead of blending it like this, So instead of blending it like this, I blend it like this. So whenever I open my eyes, the eyeshadow doesn't, it doesn't vanish, right? So this is a tip for smaller eyes. Always accentuate this part. So even if you're like opening your eyes, the eyeshadow is still visible. Eyeshadow or eyeliner. Don't focus a lot on here. Focus on here. So even if you're playing with an eyeliner, for example, just focus a bit on here, right? Okay. Any more questions?
Ma'am, is it true that people who use makeup on daily basis get wrinkles?
No, absolutely not. What you have to do is you have to pay attention to your skincare. A lot of us miss out on that. We often apply makeup, we do not do our skincare properly. Double cleansing is absolutely very important, guys. Double cleansing is super duper important. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing a heavy makeup. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing a very natural coverage makeup. Even if you're wearing a concealer, just a small bit of concealer on your skin, you still have to remove your makeup. Makeup doesn't give you wrinkles at all. You have to obviously keep your, diet and all those things in check. But good skincare and good skin prep, and always make sure that you remove your makeup before you go to bed. That is one critical step. I'm sure a lot of us miss out on it. Yeah? Contouring? Okay, so contouring you can definitely do when you want to sort of, give a very chiseled look to your cheekbones, right? Probably, when if you have a little bit of more time in your hand, if you're not getting ready in a rush, you can just dab a little bit of contour on this portion, and on the top of your forehead, also on your jawline, a little bit on your nose, and blend it, and you'll be good to go. Okay? Absolutely having fun answering these questions. Any more questions, you guys, before we move on to lips? Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna need some water first.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Missed some joke right there.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Whenever I applied makeup on my face, after some time I feel swelling under my eyes. So what's the reason?
What do you feel underneath your eyes?
Swelling, little bit swelling after makeup. After some time.
Maybe the kind of products that you're using, they're not suiting your skin type. Maybe there is some formulation in the particular product that may not be suiting your eyes. So maybe you may need to switch to some, different makeup products. What happens is that, there might be possibilities that the formulation of the product is somehow, harming your skin in some way or the other. So maybe try switching up your makeup products. Yeah? Yes, please. How do you apply foundation over acne? Okay, so all you have to do is, you apply a primer first to sort of smoothen out the redness. Okay. Now, depending upon what your skin type is, you can, if your skin type is Oily, you can apply a matte primer. Just apply a matte primer on top of your active acne mask, and sort of like let it stay, and then you can apply foundation on top of it. So what that primer would do is, if you have like a lot of redness, it would help in concealing that redness. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the lips, guys.
Can we use foundation in daily life?
Yes, absolutely. Why not? You can totally use a foundation, and this is a great pick for daily wear, right? Okay, so I'm using this crayon lipstick, guys. So this is the, yes please. That is precisely the reason you're not using a concealer. We use a concealer so that the eyeshadow sticks on top of the concealer. It's very important to prep your eyelids. We're not prepping our eyelids. And that is precisely the reason the eyeshadow sort of vanishes away. You have to prep your eyelids first. You have to apply concealer, right? So that the pigmentation goes away. So apply concealer, apply powder to set the concealer, and then we'll move ahead with the eyeshadow, right? Okay. Alright, moving ahead with the lips, finally. Okay, we have the Ink Crayon Super Stay lipstick by Maybelline, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous nude shade. What's the name of the shade? Okay, so the shade name is Lead the Way. It's a gorgeous nude lipstick color, and it comes in this form, which really helps in, lining your lips. So if you love lining your lips, try this out. Let me swatch this at the back of my hand first, but I need to clear this mess. Just give me a couple of minutes. Okay, we're done with that. Now, this is how the color looks like. It's a beautiful, like, neutral shade with soft pink tones. Again, this is the kind of color that would look beautiful on all Indian skin tones, and I swear by these lipsticks. Maybelline literally knows how to, come up with lipsticks that, have different formulations, and they just look beautiful on all Indian skin types. That's what I love about their lipstick range. Their lipstick range is absolutely so vast, and let me swatch this at the back of my hand, and it's a beautiful, like, soft, neutral color with a hint of pinkish elements in it. Yeah. How many of you are fans of like neutral lip shades? Wow, a lot of you. Okay, and how many of you like colorful, like bright, colorful lipsticks? Maybe not a lot of you. Okay, a lot of you like neutral fans out there. Okay, anyways, so yes, please. Yes, of course you can do that. I don't have a lip balm with me. So we're straight away moving ahead with the lip liner, right? And Shejal did already moisturize her lips before we started out our session, so we're good to go. So with the tip of this lipstick, I'm focusing on her lip lines, okay? And so when you focus on our lip lines, it also, helps to make our lips look slightly fuller, okay? So if you want this hat, like you can just slightly focus on your lip lines a little bit more, and your lips will look a little bit more fuller, right? I'm focusing on her upper lip line and lower lip line. Yes, please. Okay, so when you apply liquid lipsticks, again a personal call, but what a lip liner does is it just beautifully lines your lips. So whenever you apply lipstick on top of it, your lips look very fuller. So if you don't line your lips kind of look a little bit empty, you can say. They don't look complete, let's just say that. So if you line your lips, right, they look complete, right? I think that's why it's important to sort of line your lips. The color looks gorgeous, guys, right? So we line her lips with this beautiful color. And I think I'm going to go ahead with a bright pink lipstick. So this is the Maybelline Vinyl Ink Lipstick. And if you haven't tried this out, you're missing something. Like I said, Maybelline truly knows their lipstick game. And look at the packaging. So chic, so classy, right? So all you have to do is just shake it up a little bit before you use this product. And it has this doe foot applicator that makes it very easy for the lipstick application, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the excess off first and start applying the lip color on the center of her lip, okay? Don't press your lips right now. So the key to use this lipstick is, guys, you apply this and you never press your lips immediately. Sort of like let it stay on your lips for some time. And that's like the best way this lipstick stays on for longer hours. It's a beautiful matte liquid lipstick, and I forgot to tell you guys the shade name. It's called Unrivaled. The shade name is Unrivaled. It's a beautiful like pinkish shade. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a lip brush in order to blend the color beautifully with the, this other color, right? So she has two different color on her lips, right? In order to have that beautiful blend of two colors, I'm going to be using a lip brush. Again, this is something which is very optional, but this really helps in making sure that your lips look very nice and seamless. The colors that you're wearing, especially if you're wearing like two colors on the lips, it really helps in making sure that your lips look very smooth and seamless. So I'm taking a tiny lip brush, and what I'm doing right now is I'm blending the edges of her lip color with her lip liner, okay? So there are no visible gaps. It should never give an appeal like, oh, there is a different color on her lip lines and there is a completely different color on the center of her lips. It should, merge beautifully, right?
पहले मुझे फिर बताओ पूरा डंडा लेके क्यों करी जाओ
How do we like this beautiful shade? How do we like it? Come on, guys! Alright, so we're done with the lips and we have a couple of lip glosses. Alright, I rave about these lip glosses on my Instagram channel, okay? Ever since they have been launched, I love them. And in fact, in one of my recent videos, I remember saying that This has to be one of the most beautiful lip gloss I've ever tried. I swear. And this is the shade. Oh, this is exactly the shade I was talking about. It's called Petal. And I'm not even kidding you guys. This is what I said, that this has to be one of the most beautiful lip gloss I've ever tried in my life. The formulation, how it feels on the lips, oh my god, it's beautiful. Now we have a couple of shades. Maybelline Lifter Glosses are the names. We have a couple of shades. The first shade is called Petal. It's a beautiful pinkish shade. Alright, I'll swatch it and show you guys. The other shade is called, it's called Pearl, right? So this one is more like a little bit sparkly, and this one has a lot of like color to it. So, and you know, you can wear this as is as well, even if you're not like in the mood of wearing a like full blown lipstick and you're just in the mood of wearing a lip gloss. That's it. Just apply this because this has a lot of color. I'll swatch it and show you guys. Look at the packaging. It just looks super luxurious, and the applicator makes it very easy to sort of apply the lip color on your lips. Let me swatch it at the back of my hand. All my lip gloss girlies out there. Yeah. How many of you like lip gloss? Okay, the maximum number of hands I can see. Alright, so this is the shade I was talking about. I think this is my favorite lip gloss at the moment. I freaking love this, okay? I love this. And this has such a, you know, like luxurious appeal to it. You apply this on your lips and you'll be like, ah, my lips look so juicy and they look so voluminous. And I love the effect of this, the feel of this on my lips. Alright? Yes, please. Yeah, but still we girls apply, you know, love applying lip gloss, right? I think we all share a love-hate relationship with lip glosses. We all know the after effects of lip gloss, but we still end up applying lip glosses, right? Okay, so this is the other shade I was talking about. It's a clear lip shade with a hint of glitter, and look how beautiful this is. Okay, I'll repeat the shade name. It's called Pearl and Gorgeous. Right, I'm actually planning to use this shade on her lips. I think this is going to look very beautiful with the lip color that I've just applied. And highly recommend, guys, please check these lip glosses out. I'm not kidding. I don't think you'll be able to like love any other lip gloss if you apply this. Alright? Okay. Alright, so I'm not applying a lot of it because I don't want too much gloss on her lips. Just a hint of it on the center of her lips, and we'll be good to go. Okay? Open your lips. Yes, please. I'm coming back to your question. Just give me a couple of minutes. And this is how it looks. Gorgeous? Okay. Alright. Yes, please, your question. Somebody was asking a question. How to find the best red shade that would suit you. See, there are different types of red shades. Some reds have like cool toned formula in them, some reds have like a warm toned formula in them. I suggest that you go to a store and you know, like apply any red lipstick that you may be, you know, wanting to add in your collection, and you apply it, and then see if it looks, you know, how the particular formula looks on your lips, on your entire skin tone. I know it might sound a bit tedious formula, but once you find your favorite shade of red lipstick, there's no going back. I personally love wearing red lipsticks. Red has to be my favorite color when it comes to lipsticks. But yeah, I can truly understand that finding a perfect shade of red can be a little tricky. But just go to a store and you know, maybe like swatch a few of the shades, wear them, and you know, see how it looks and you know, feels on your skin type. So I hope you'll be good to go then. Yeah. What lipstick am I wearing? Okay, I'll share that on my Instagram. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on my Instagram, and I'll share all the details of my makeup look there. Okay? Would you be showcasing my Instagram handle there? Okay, it's I am Anubha. I am ANUBHAA. Okay, it's I am Anubha. Alright. Just give us a couple of minutes, guys. We'll be back. I hope you guys got to learn something new today. Yeah, I hope this session was helpful. We're just waiting for our last step. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, since the cabin crew has to work for more than 10 to 12 hours sometimes, so what does the makeup touch-up look like?
Okay, so you can, I think you can keep a concealer handy. You can definitely keep a compact powder handy. Alright, you can keep a setting spray handy, and don't forget your lipsticks. Okay? So, concealer for that like minimal touch-up, because you obviously won't be reapplying the entire makeup again, right? So, concealer for that minor touch-ups, and in order to set that concealer, powder, and you can also keep your blush as well, because blushes are the quickest to fade, right? अगर आपने especially natural blush लगाया है, that will fade away very quickly. So, you can also keep your blush with you, and lipstick, yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Setting spray is the last step in any makeup tutorial and in any makeup look. And even if you're using a very, let's just say, even if you're wearing concealer on your face, you have not worn foundation and too many makeup products, just concealer and a little bit of blush here and there. Just apply setting spray on your face and you will see the magic. Your face is actually going to look fresh for longer hours. So never underestimate the power of a setting spray, right? Primer has its own importance and setting spray has its own importance. Yeah? Any more questions, guys? Okay. The last step of today's session, a setting spray. Alright? Somebody said yay. Okay, so we're using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Setting Spray. Now the importance of setting spray, like I was just mentioning, is it really helps in making sure that your makeup looks fresh and your makeup stays on for longer hours. For example, if you'll be makeup for 10 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, or even for a couple of hours, एक बार experiment करके देखना. One day just apply your makeup and go without a setting spray. Do not use a setting spray. Click pictures during the day. The other day, you wear your makeup, you spray setting mist on your face, and again click your pictures the entire day, and you will see the difference. You will feel the difference on your skin. The setting spray is something which it really helps in making your face, your makeup look very fresh. Yeah. Okay guys, moving on to setting spray. Now, all you have to make sure that you don't use the setting spray on your lips and on your eyes. So I'm going to be asking Shejal to sort of press it, don't press your lips freely, okay, just do this. And I'll be covering your eyes. I don't want the setting spray to be on the eyelids because this is going to mess up with the eyeshadow, right? So never apply a setting spray directly on your eyeshadow, always close your eyes and then setting spray is for your face, alright? So close your, don't press your lips fully. Yeah? Just do this. So we shake it up. Yeah? And then we sort of close it. We sort of air dry it. Yeah? I'm going to be sharing some really cool tips next. will hear me out. So after I air dry, what I do is, and this really helps in making sure that my makeup lasts longer. So what I do is I take my foundation brush and then I slightly do like a tapping motion. I do a lot of times in my videos, ye wala step, and even when I'm not shooting, tap, 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 tap. And what I do next is, like I was mentioning, blushes are the quickest to fade. I like to go in with my blush once again, yeah? So I like to take my blush and my blush brush, take a little bit, tap off the excess, slightly, not a lot. This is called, like slight touching up. And this step, it might feel a little unnecessary to a lot of you out there, but it truly helps. एक बार try करके देखना, truly helps. And just a little bit of highlighter. Little bit of highlighter, not too much. I'm only touching up. I'm not reapplying it, just touching up. Oops, messy me, sorry. Okay guys, we're done. And this is how the makeup looks like. A round of applause for Shejal for being so flexible. And how does she look guys? And thank you so much for giving me your valuable time. I had a lovely time hosting this masterclass. Thank you so much, Maybelline, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you all for your time. And I hope you had a lovely session. और मुझे Instagram पे follow करना मत भूलना. Okay? Okay guys, thank you so much. Thank you.
Shejal.
Guys, a big round of applause for Anubha. Come on. Anubha, thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys love the look she created. You can clearly see her expertise in everything she does. So beauty is her expertise.